Hello, welcome back guys. Squawka Dave back in the hot seat, and today we're having a manager debate. Everyone is for Louis Van Gaal or against Louis Van Gaal. But we want to talk to these three guys, get their opinion, and who can we bring in if LVG isn't the right man for the job. Firstly, I want to talk about that man, Louis Van Gaal. Adam, what has he got right? What has he got wrong? What does he need to do to stay in the job at Manchester United?
What has he got right? Well, he stabilised the club again. He got us playing better at some point. I mean, like, you know, last season when you look at some of the runs we went on, especially when we played the 4-1-2-1-2 formation or whatever it was, we played some good football. We got European football back. We blooded some youth through who will probably love Louis Van Gaal forever because he gave them their chance and gave them their break at Manchester United. He improved our defence, but then you look at it, the fans aren't enjoying the football, the players aren't enjoying the football, and in the last month to 6 to 8 weeks, the results have gone bad. Is this a bad run of form, or is it indicative of his philosophy not working? I think it's a bit of both. I think the players have adapted to his philosophy, but he needs to adapt to the players that he's got now. And he hasn't done that enough for me. And that's why it looks like his players are enjoying the football. And although I sense there's a good team spirit and the players enjoy playing together, I don't sense they're all pulling in the same direction. I don't believe they all believe in the philosophy.
I think that's a big thing. The philosophy is a key part of Louis Van Gaal's whole managerial credibility, mentality, and we're starting to see, is this philosophy the right way for Manchester United? Alasdair, I want to come to you. Do you feel that the flexibility that Louis Van Gaal's brought in, you know, switching between a back three and a back four, can really help Manchester United in the future, given their next, you know, the next manager that comes in?
No, I just think it's his philosophy, and he's stubborn. A back three doesn't work because it puts so much pressure on everybody else. Because we don't have a middle two, and then it forces the wide two far too wide. I don't have a problem with Louis Van Gaal as a person. I just have a problem with his football, and I think that's shown by how meaningless statistics are when you think about when you look at match reports on United at the minute. We had 71% possession on Saturday and didn't score a goal from open play against the side 2 divisions below us. And then you get loads of stats like Wayne Rooney scored 9 out of his last 10, 9 in his last 10 in the FA Cup. It's completely meaningless. Whereas if we got somebody else who played better football, more attacking football, those statistics might start meaning something.
So we've got Barnaby from Spurs channel Spurred On. Manchester United have been linked with Pochettino in recent days. Barnaby, what could we expect if we brought the Argentinian to Old Trafford?
That wouldn't be the first question I'd ask me. I'd ask me, what chances are there of that happening? And my answer would be 0.
No, we slipped past that one. We went in, we spoke to David, and we went in there, and we've already signed up Poch. And what we want to know is, what can Poch bring to Old Trafford?
Well, okay, hold on. I'll try and answer that question. Firstly, if Daniel Levy were even willing to speak to Manchester United about any players or managers, and you somehow managed to pay enough money to get Pochettino through your door, which I can't imagine ever happening, then he would bring you more of an element of what I think Fergie was about, which is in terms of blooding youth, in terms of groups of youth players at a time, academy graduates, not just one here or one there, or like a whole back four if you're injured, actually giving them a chance and saying to them, it's not going to be one game because we've got injuries, we trust in you, we think you're good enough, go and show us. And that is something that Fergie obviously did famously when he sold Kanchelskis and Ince, etc., and brought the Nevilles and Beckham through. And that's something that could happen again for you, but you know, it's a tough one for me to answer because obviously Pochettino is currently sitting happily in the top 4 of the Premier League, and I can't imagine him wanting to go out of there anytime soon.
So that's a great point, that, Barnaby, you know, bringing youth prospects through. Adam, would you like to see that at Manchester United? Under Louis Van Gaal, he's given a number of players debuts, so we could continue this philosophy of bringing these young players through. Pochettino could bring the high-pressing game. Is that good enough?
Firstly, I don't think Louis Van Gaal gives youth players chances just because he's got injuries, which I think Barney was alluding to there. Obviously, we've had to use some at times, and I think it's better than doing that than just throwing in players out of position. But obviously, you want to see youth players promoted at your football team. That's what it's all about. You want to see like young kids coming through, grow, like us guys watching Ryan Giggs come out as manager for that short period of time. It was like we saw him come from this young kid straight through to experienced player, won it all, and then he was our manager. And it's like watching them things. It's what football's all about, and it's the romance of football and all that. But I truly believe Manchester United have a quality group of players coming through in our academy. When I was looking at the picture on the other day when Rooney was celebrating his goal, we had Martial, Memphis, Jesse Lingard, Andreas Pereira on the pitch at that point. Them four there could create a front four that could potentially go on for the next 5 to 10 years and be world class. And then you look at the other the likes of Axel Tuanzebe, Timothy Fosu-Mensah coming through, Callum Gribbin. You know, we've got some fantastic players in our youth academy, and I think Pochettino, if he was to come in, and I'd rather have Pochettino over Mourinho. That's not to say I think Pochettino is a possibility. As Barnaby said, Tottenham would make our lives hell trying to get him from them. He's just gone there recently. We'd probably be looking for a manager in the next 12 to 18 months. Is he going to want to move at that point? He seems like a guy that would want to stick with his job, and he's bringing through some great players at Spurs. The way he plays football is very good as well. It's an attacking-based football, but if you look at it reminds you of Manchester United at times, like you score 2, we're going to score 3. And we love that shit at Old Trafford, so I'd be all for Pochettino, but I don't think it will happen. Do I think Louis Van Gaal is going to be around at the end of this season, barring a miracle? No. I mean, by that I mean beyond the end of this season. I do think he'll see this season out. But so we have to look towards other alternatives. I don't want Mourinho personally, but I know why people would. He's one of very few world-class options that are available at the moment. Now, if you've got a choice of Guardiola and Mourinho, you're going to want Guardiola. But when it's Mourinho, or then you're dropping down to your Mark Hugheses and your Alan Pardew's and all this, you know who you want. He's a winner. He's a proven winner. Do I believe that the likes of, I seen Ruben Loftus-Cheek score for Chelsea the other day. Would that have happened with Jose Mourinho at the club? No, mate, it wouldn't have happened. Would the youth players that we see coming through at Old Trafford, Jesse Lingard, would he be getting his opportunities under Jose Mourinho? No, he wouldn't, but the results would be better. And we'd be challenging for the league title in the short term at least anyway. He always leaves it a bad mess. And eventually when he leaves a squad that needs work on, but he would make you successful for the immediate short term. And it seems like that's what everybody at Manchester United wants right now. The next job, the next appointment is so crucial. We were speaking to this just before. I was saying Ryan Giggs would be great if it works out. It'd be amazing if it works out. And the rewards are huge. But the risk is so big for Manchester United at the moment. And the next appointment is so crucial. That's why the likes of Jose Mourinho starts to appear and appeal to you, because you think, yeah, if he comes in, we'll be probably winning the league next season. And that's like the difference at the moment. We haven't got time to play around with. We haven't got time to experiment with a David Moyes or a Ryan Giggs. As much as I would love Ryan Giggs to work out, and I'd love him to become Manchester United manager and be a success beyond Guardiola, I just don't think that's going to happen. And that's why it's like, do we stick with LVG and wait, or do we go? It's such a precarious situation at the moment. That's why I don't think there's any right or wrong answer really.
Alasdair, Max mentioned a number of names there: Pep Guardiola, Jose Mourinho, Ryan Giggs. Who would you want to be the next Manchester United manager after Louis Van Gaal?
Ideally, it would be Guardiola, of course, because of his track record, because he plays attractive football, because he seems like yes, people have called him a rent-a-coach, but I like his style. It seems like he's got some sort of life plan. I'll spend so much time at Barcelona, then I'll go to Bayern Munich, then I'll spend 3 years somewhere else, and then people have said he wants the Brazil job to play international football. Yes, people may say that that's easy to manage the teams at Bayern and Barca, but the thing is, he has to win there. And because of that winner's mentality he's had at Barca and Bayern, he would be perfect for us. But I fear he's going to go across town. With that in mind, I would like Mourinho simply because he's the next rung on the ladder. The best coach in the world is Ancelotti, and he's taken at Bayern after Guardiola. So it's Mourinho, or it's a bit harsh, but also runs like Giggs, Hughes, maybe somebody like a Thomas Tuchel if he could get him out of his contract, but I very much doubt that. I think the problem is LVG is Woodward's man, and as long as Woodward is in office, LVG will remain in the job. I don't have a problem with LVG as a person because I like him. But his football just isn't what me, as part of the privileged generation of industrial scale success, I don't think he corresponds to attacking football at United, sideways and backwards, and he uses players in the wrong positions, as indicated by Bastian Schweinsteiger's injury. Yes, it was an injury in a tackle, but he's injured because he has to do so much work, which also goes back to the fact that our squad is so thin. There's so many little problems.
That's the thing, isn't it, Alasdair? There's so many problems at Manchester United. Not all of them are Louis Van Gaal's fault, and that's why you think are the results a result of yes, Louis Van Gaal's philosophy, but also the problems that we face in other areas of the club. And I think the club is in a very difficult situation at the moment, and that's why I think the appointment's so crucial next time, because Manchester City are going to get Guardiola. I feel they're going to get Guardiola. I've felt that for about 2 years, but they're going to get Guardiola, then they're going to probably sign Messi as well, and they're going to dominate for at least 3 years for when Guardiola's there.
At least, at the very least.
So we need a manager that's going to compete with him.
Is Simeoni an option?
Simeoni could be a very good option, 4-4-2, very rugged style of play. But
doesn't speak English.
I think that can't be that much of an issue, though, right? Very intelligent lad, an Argentinian that's played in Italy, played in Spain. What I think we're all alluding to here is Manchester United need to go back to concentrate on youth. Harry Kane has been in banging form for Pochettino. Barnaby, do you feel that Pochettino's getting the best out of Harry Kane at the moment?
Well, I mean, Tim Sherwood should take a lot of credit for blooding Harry Kane in the first place, but when it comes to Pochettino absolutely making him his main man after a little spell on the subs bench at the beginning of last season, he's got to take a lot of credit for that. But I think when it comes to Harry Kane, once his confidence was up and he believed that he was a proper Premier League striker, then all his other skills just came into it. And he is, to me, as close to I've seen a player like Alan Shearer since Shearer played. And I know Shearer likes him as well. And it's just he's got a little bit of everything. He's even got a little bit of Teddy Sheringham about him as well when he drops in. So I can totally understand why people talk about Man United being interested in a player like that. And in terms of Pochettino, coaching him and making him a better player, absolutely. You can see that every single week he's improving all the time.
That shows you how important faith is, though, with young players. Even though I like the fact that LVG has brought in a few players, I think he's put our best academy players and youth players either out on loan and record them like Januzaj and Will Keane, or just put them out on loan to Brighton and Hove Albion like James Wilson. I think we should just show complete faith, because I've always thought that James Wilson is the best finisher at the club, and you can't use the fact that he's only played in reserve level and scoring goals in the Manchester Senior Cup against him. I think Pochettino would be a good fit because he's shown faith in Kane and he's shown faith in Dele Alli, and regardless of your performance, I'm going to give you a run in this first team. And because of that, Tottenham are playing better football than United, and I think they'll finish above us. And all the weeks that United were above Spurs in the league, I thought that the league table was artificial because Spurs are better than us.
It's a solid point there. So, lads, we're going to finish this off, wrap it up. After Louis Van Gaal, we're going to go to Mac first. Who do you want as manager of Manchester United?
In a dream world, if I had a little genie sitting next to me and I could make a wish, it would be that Ryan Giggs became manager and he won everything. That would be the perfect thing that's going to happen. But I don't see that happening. Jose Mourinho, I think he splits the board. I think Woodward would see him as a marquee signing, so he would want to make it happen. But I also think that Woodward likes to make other people happy. Sir Bobby Charlton and those kind of people won't want Jose Mourinho. So that's probably, Jose Mourinho's up in the air then. I don't want him either. I genuinely don't know what's going to happen. And that's the beauty of it all. I'm just going to enjoy the ride, mate. Fantastic.
Alasdair, Guardiola, Mourinho, who's your man?
Personally, because I think Guardiola to City is a done deal, I I would go for Jose Mourinho because he's a winner, but I fear what impact that would have on our academy. And in terms of Adam's point about the board of directors and Bobby Charlton and the ambassadors, I don't think they play as much as a role as we would like to think. And
I think it would have been a done deal. If I think he would already be Manchester United manager if Sir Bobby and Sir Alex were happy with it. I get that feeling that it would have been a done deal. You felt at that point, I felt around the Stoke game that LVG was a gunner. I genuinely felt that. Like, thought he's gone. We're going to get Jose in. It kind of had that feel around it, and I still think there's some people that are just so against it that it won't happen, but I'm just guessing on that one.
Barnaby,
that's the feeling I get.
As a fella looking from the outside in,
yeah.
Obviously you want to keep Pochettino at Spurs with Harry Kane and Eric Dyer and Vertonghen, obviously away from Manchester United's grasp is. Who would you think would suit Manchester United best to be their manager?
To be honest, I'm glad you asked because I do have an opinion on this. And I have to say, because it's going to be a bit controversial, I do like Man United. I think Man United and Spurs try and play football the right way, you know, kind of similar, that kind of style.
You watched us this
traditional, not this season, but traditionally, Mac, traditionally. I'm going to give two things. One is the person who I would like to see as Man United manager as a Spurs fan, and this is controversial, I know, but is Ryan Giggs, because to me, I don't think he's management material. I think he's obviously a fantastic player, brilliant, will motivate people because he's such a club legend, but that is a dangerous, dangerous game to play. And as a Spurs fan, if you go down that route, I think we're going to be close to you in terms of league positions, possibly above you for the next few seasons. However, the person who I wouldn't like to see as Man United manager as a Spurs fan is Mourinho, because he is a winner, just like Max said. He will get you, even if it's only for 3 years or whatever you say, he will get you up there and he will get you challenging for the title and the Champions League. And I think, you know, if it's Bobby Charlton saying, you know, over my dead body, or Fergie doesn't like the sound of it, you've just got to get over that. He is the winner. You should be making him your manager right now, as far as I'm concerned. He's available. He will want to turn Chelsea over now because he'll be so pissed off. And I think he's the one that you need.
Cheers, Barnaby.
He could always adapt as well, isn't it?
But I think Mourinho would stay at United for longer than his usual 3 years because we are the only big club. He's never said anything negative about.
Yeah, he could always embrace the traditions. It's a job that he's wanted for a long time.
Yeah,
I used to wind
5,
Chelsea
6
fans
years
up saying that he cried when he got told that David Moyes was Manchester United manager, and we know he wants to be Manchester United manager, and that's the one thing that makes me think if he was appointed, he could embrace the club's traditions and embrace what it means to be a Manchester United fan.
But also, you would sign better players because you'd have Jose Mourinho as your manager.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but we. Yeah. But yeah. We would.
To the detriment of our academy.
Sure.
That's my fear.
Unless we brought in a director of football alongside him.
David Pleat.
I think that could be the perfect model, you know, getting someone above Mourinho or getting someone above Ryan Giggs. I think Manchester United are struggling at the moment with making the correct signings at the right time. Anyway, the guys have had their say. Go over to Spurred On to check out Barnaby, dropping some bombs about Tottenham. Thanks, Adam. Thanks, Alasdair. See you next time, guys. It's the 3-point review time. Today, we're going to be talking about Manchester United versus Sheffield United in the FA Cup.